Welcome back, everyone. Okay, I'm excited. Like many of you, I'm sure, I fell in love with the series 24 when it first appeared on our screens way back when. There was talk a few years back about a movie, but now I think it's even better news because they're not doing the movie just yet. They're doing a whole new series. It's set right here in London. They're filming it right now. To tell us more, please welcome Mr. Kiefer Sutherland. Kiefer Sutherland. Wow. Great to have you back, Kiefer.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, it's great to have you. How exciting is it? There's going to be another 24. I think it's going to be on our screens in May. That's the plan, isn't it?
We go to air in May, and we'll do England and the US almost at the same time.
Almost at the same time. And you're shooting here in London. This is the first time, obviously, 24's been out of the States.
Yeah.
For the whole thing. How are you finding it? Because this is not the nicest weather we've had for this time of year. Even.
We've managed to negotiate the weather. The thing that we're most worried about is snow, which I think we're coming into the months for that.
Now, what's going on there? What's that you're wearing there? That's
I have a lot of... I had some wardrobe on, and it's the only jacket that I could fit over it because it was freezing cold.
Yeah, it's not been great. But are you enjoying it? I guess you can't tell us much about the story, I'm sure.
No, I can't tell you anything about the story. Well, there's some things. I mean, we're not reinventing the show. So Jack is going to have a bad day.
And it'd be terrible if they did the only time they shot in London. He has a really nice day. Really dull series.
And we're doing 12 episodes this year instead of 24. Oh. And so the 12 episodes will still represent a 24-hour day. But we will, and the episodes will be in real time like the show was. But if Jack needs to catch a plane to France or to Germany, we can absorb that in the hours.
The clock will move.
Yes, the clock will move
But
forward.
Presumably that will make it a bit easier to write, I would have thought, because you haven't got to fill the time with...
I think in the first few seasons there were times where they did try to get me to travel. And there were very slow episodes when he was on a flight all the way down to Costa Rica. Yeah. It was like 12 episodes of eating peanuts. And so we ended up having to crash the plane to try and make it a little more exciting. So this makes it a lot easier for the writers.
So I guess does this pick up exactly where the last series left off?
No, it's 4 years later. And at the very end of season 8, Jack Bauer was branded a criminal.
Okay, we don't do any spoilers in case people haven't seen the end of it, but he was branded a criminal.
Yeah. Branded a criminal by the U.S. government. He is given a 20-minute window to try and disappear by the president at the end of season 8, and he manages to do so. He makes it all the way to Eastern Europe, where he has been hiding for 4 years. Something is going to happen in London that he figures out, and he surfaces again in London.
You know, I can't wait. And we obviously have no clip from the show, but this was the big trailer, the exciting trailer they showed at the Super Bowl last Sunday.
Yeah.
And this is already, I can't wait. Look at this. Yeah! Wow! Looks great.
Bless your heart. That was the first day we shot in London.
Yeah.
And
I think I can tell from that why he's angry. It's the tube strike.
Well, yes.
Okay, I love seeing you as Jack Bauer, but I've loved seeing you in so many movies over the years. And I was thinking about this interview, think about some of the early films. And you go way back. When you think about the movies Kiefer's been in, you think about Young Guns, you think about Lost Boys, you think about Stand By Me, which is one of the greatest movies from that decade, I think.
Thank you.
When you look back at that period, how do you feel about your performance in those films? What do you think about that early work?
Well, in all fairness, I don't watch the films I've made. I think the last one I watched was Stand By Me. I had a girlfriend, and we went to the cast and crew screening, and I had a very specific idea of what I wanted to do with the character.
So this was when it first came out?
Before it came out.
So you don't watch them back, you haven't... If they're on TV, do you channel hop away?
I haven't watched an episode of 24, no.
Really?
No, but I know how it goes. I mean, I have read the script, so...
Yeah, there's no surprises for you.
But no, I was standing there, and we watched the movie, and everything that I had thought I wanted to do, I hadn't done. All I saw was myself up there. And I was mortified, and my girlfriend was saying, no, I thought it was really great. I was like, don't patronize me. You know, I need to get another job. If I don't get another job and this comes out, I'm dead, my career's over, da-da-da. And it was really lucky for me because there was another film that I didn't want to do that I took because of that, which was Lost Boys. And thank you very much.
Another one of the best from that decade.
So clearly I am not the person to watch my own work.
I must admit, though, seeing that image there, I can see why you might not want to watch that one. But that's not a fair example of the movie. Look at that. That's a terrible bunch of haircuts. Isn't it? Did you guys
They were very cool at the time.
I was going to say, did you think, were you pleased with that look, all of you guys?
Oh my God, I thought I was awesome. Yeah. and I managed to maintain that by not seeing the movie.
Yeah, well, no, the movie's great. You should see that one.
No, it's a personal thing. And I do see parts of every film when I do the ADR, when I do post-production. But for me, it's just always served me better as an actor. To let other people tell me what they thought of it than for me to kind of rip it apart, which is what I would naturally do.
And so not to watch and scrutinize the performance in that way and criticize yourself.
The performance is more organic to me. It's not something I did this thing in a film a couple of years ago that I liked the way that looked, and that would be awful for me. So I try not to do that.
But would you go back to do one of those early films? They want you to do a sequel. Like, we have people making movies where they often revisit characters from 20 years ago.
I'd go back to do my 30s.
Would you? Well, would you? What if they wanted you to do, instead of Young Guns, Old Guns, or the Lost Boys, the even more Lost Men? I mean,
Young Guns was an interesting one because Young Guns was one of those films that we were just too young to know how lucky we were to do it. Yeah. As an actor, you dream of doing a Western. Certainly if you spend a lot of time in America, and they don't make them, so this was an unbelievable opportunity. And by the time we did the sequel, I was kind of against doing sequels, so I made sure I got killed in that sequel. I probably deeply regret that.
Is that when you fell in love with the kind of the cowboy skills? Because I know for a while, weren't you involved in rodeo for a while?
I was. I rodeoed professionally for about 10 years.
And this was not early in your career. This was you sort of walked away from the movies. Yeah. So why did you leave the movies to go into that? Were you disenchanted?
Couldn't get a job. It was, I've been working for a long time. And there are ups and downs in someone's career, and the work that I was being asked to do was not something that I was interested in doing. And I realized if I didn't kind of stop doing a film or films that were not going to be great, then I'd never get to do it again. And so I had other things that interested me, and I was raising quarter horses in Montana for a while. And I got in with a bunch of cowboys, and I had a natural affinity for roping, and so I started competing in it. And it was a great experience. These cowboys were a lot tougher than I had ever imagined. I was doing a roping in just a small town outside of Albuquerque in Belen, New Mexico. And this father and son were there, and the father was quite old. And he had roped this cow, and there's a thing called a dally. So you rope the cow, you pull out the slack, and you take the rope around the saddle horn, and then you turn the horse. And all of this takes place in about 3 seconds. So you want to keep your thumb up. But a lot of times, in the excitement of all of it, you get your hand down. And if the rope gets around your thumb, when it hits the end of the 600-pound cow, the thumb's gone. Wow. And so this cowboy did that, and half his thumb was hanging off. And his son didn't see that right away. And he turned around, and by the time he turned around, the dad had pulled out a knife, lopped off the rest of the thumb, and threw it at the dog in the corner of the arena. And the son said, "Dad, are you crazy? Doctors can fix that now." Jumps off the horse and chases the dog for about 10 minutes trying to get the thumb back, and was unsuccessful. But, I certainly don't think I could do that.
No.
And but I'll never forget that story.
I am not surprised you won't forget that story. Now, I didn't realize, I know you'd been in a couple of movies with your father, with the great Donald Sutherland.
I have not, actually.
I thought you'd been not actually done scenes with, but
no, I
been
did
in movies.
one film, A Time to Kill, and we didn't even see each other over the course of making that film. So it was
So you're in the same movie, but you never had a scene together?
Never.
But
no.
That's about to change, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, tell us about this film. You've already filmed this? Or
we made a film in Calgary, Alberta, in Canada. It is a Western, and it's the first time we've been able to work together. And something that I've been looking forward to and nervous about for 25 years. And been working on the script for a few years, and finally everybody was free, and we got to make it, and ended up being one of the great experiences of my career.
It must have been the first few days, I imagine. The first few scenes must have been pretty daunting.
I called him the night before we started. And I said, "Look, I just want to tell you how excited I am, and if I'm quiet, I'm a little nervous." He went, "Oh my God, thank God, you're nervous too." and then he was really effusive about that, and then we started to laugh, and it really broke the ice for us. And I think we made a film that we're both going to be very, very proud of, and hopefully that'll come out around the fall. And yeah, but it was a phenomenal experience.
It's called The Forsaken, I believe, so I'm looking for
It's called The Forsaken now, and that can change. Yeah.
Here's the exciting thing as well. There's another movie with Kiefer coming out soon. I'm just checking the date. 2nd of May, I believe, is out in this country, called Pompeii.
Yes.
Which I'd heard about because I know the guys who work on Game of Thrones, and Kit Harington, who is Jon Snow in Game of Thrones. He's the young kind of slave turned gladiator, I believe, in this. And you're just are you a bad guy?
I'm a nasty piece of work. Yeah.
Okay, tell us about Pompeii. So it's set at the time of.
Well, it's one of the. There's a few reasons why I love making the movie. First of all, anytime you get to do this kind of a film with the scope of this, I mean, it's a stunning looking film, period piece. Love a skirt and a bit of armor, you know.
So have you done the skirt and armor before?
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay, how did you find
Saturday Night Live maybe, but no, not for real.
Was it liberating to work in a skirt?
Yes. During the summer?
Yeah. You wouldn't want to be shooting 24 in a skirt right now.
No.
Okay, it's quite a bold. I've seen a clip. I'm going to show you a clip. It's quite a bold choice you've made in the way your character speaks.
He's different.
Yeah. Okay.
He's different.
Okay. Here we go. Have a look at this. This is Pompeii, 2nd of May. Look at this. Give him the lash.
Makes you want to hit him right away.
He's a bad guy. So he's got a slight lisp, it's a bit of a Sean Connery going on there.
Well, it's actually is what I would term as kind of a mid-Atlantic dialect. There was just something very rich and pompous about the sound of that voice when I did it to me. I didn't like it when I did it, and I thought, therefore, it must be really appropriate for this guy.
So you found an annoying voice?
For me, yeah.
You've got to tell us, you've got to tell us one thing about the new 24, about the next
We're
series.
shooting it in London.
No, yeah.
But at the root of it, you know, he's going to have a shitty day.
Well, that's all we need to know. That's what they should put on it, yeah, 24. Another shitty day. Great to have you here. Thank you. I can't wait for Pompeii, but I'm so psyched about 24. Ladies and gentlemen, the fabulous Kiefer Sutherland.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's always so nice to have you on.